Hey, Natasha Neese here, author of Rise Up and Rock, A Front Woman's Journey. And today we're going to read chapter 4, Humbling on the Air. January 25th, 2020, we were blessed to play the legendary Howie's in Medford, and it was the last show the venue would host before closing its doors forever. Howie's was more than a rock club. It was a shrine to music history, with every inch of its walls and ceiling covered in guitars, albums, posters, and other memorabilia. Stepping inside felt like stepping into a museum. I wish I had taken more photos, but I was too distracted, caught up in the energy of the moment, and more immediately by the unexpected meltdown that happened at sound check. It had started so casually, a light-hearted conversation about stage clothes, one of my favorite topics. We were talking about a pair of my pants I thought would fit JC, and I made a passing comment about them being a little too small for me. Randy, always quick with an off-color remark, made some joke about if any woman ever said anything about me being small. He was, of course, referring to penis size, which was typical Randy humor, the kind of banter that comes with the territory in a band full of men, or boys. No one thought anything of it. It wasn't until we started looking for JC at soundcheck that we realized he had taken Randy's comment as a serious attack on his manhood and without a word had decided to go home. I couldn't believe it. The whole thing spiraled into me getting cussed out over the phone for not defending him. After much coaxing, I convinced JC to come back, but the ridiculous ordeal was very concerning and made me avoid looking at him on stage the entire night. Still, we pulled off a great show. Lots of my friends came out, and their support meant the world to me. The energy was high, so much so that I chipped my front tooth with the microphone during our encore, Whole Lotta Love. Dominic was great, JC rallied, and Bill was solid as always, although he kept his distance from the green room, sitting by the stage with his wife instead. We invited them both back to hang with us, but they declined. It would have been nice to have had everyone together as a unit, celebrating the night as a band. 2 months later, after our very successful March 14th show at Grape Street Bar in Medford, Bill quit. He wanted to spend evenings at home with his wife in the woods. I couldn't blame him, and I'm sure she wanted him home too. It was disappointing, but not entirely surprising. There were no hard feelings, just the understanding that he had been the right person for the beginning of the journey, and for that I would always be grateful. A few weeks later, JC and I were invited to perform Thank You at the wedding of the daughter of Howie's owner. It was their song, the one they walked down the aisle to, the one they danced to, the soundtrack of their love story. I had to keep my composure while singing, but inside I was deeply moved. After all, it was true love that I wanted more than anything. They were one of those rare couples who had been best friends forever, and it was an honor to be a part of something so blessed. Around that time, Dominic and I played an acoustic duet performance at South Stage Cellars in Jacksonville, the only duet show under the Living Loving Lead name. The place was sold out and gave us their full attention. Dominic and I had a great professional chemistry, and I absolutely adored him. An exciting opportunity came forth when Living Loving Lead was invited to do an interview and perform live on KSKQ Radio in Ashland. Dominic, JC, and I were going to play Going to California with an acoustic guitar and mandolin live on air with the station manager, Carson, interviewing us. I felt honored, excited, and a little nervous. The guys met at my house first to go over the song, but instead of rehearsing, they got into an argument. I don't remember what it was about, something petty, something that escalated way too fast. The intensity of it completely shattered the mood and took up all our time to be practicing the song. So instead of walking into the radio station feeling connected, prepared, and inspired, we arrived in total silence, unrehearsed. No one was even speaking to each other. I was furious at them for letting it happen, for bringing their negative energy into this special occasion, causing my nervous system to be completely rattled. I tried to shake it off and ground myself in the conversation with Carson, who was wonderful, thoughtful, engaged, and genuinely interested in us. He asked great questions that really made me reflect on the journey, the music, and the deeper layers of what we were doing. But underneath my words, I could feel the tremors of unease, like I wasn't fully in my body. When it came time for us to perform Going to California, my worst fear materialized. I forgot a line, and with it, my sense of placement in the song disappeared. My voice fell silent. The guys kept playing, their eyes flickering toward me, waiting for me to return, the tension rising as they looped the section again and again. I could feel the weight of their expectation and the unspoken coordination between them, buying time, hoping I'd find my way back in. But my mind had gone blank, wiped clean by panic, live on air with people listening in real time. JC leaned in and whispered a line to help me, but it was the wrong one. It would have derailed us even further. I knew I couldn't risk following a misstep, so I stayed in the silence, trying to pull myself back. Eventually, somehow, I recovered. We eased back into the song, doing our best to pass it off as an extended meandering bridge, an improvisational detour, not a breakdown. When the song ended, all I wanted to do was run to my car, shut the door, and sob. But the interview wasn't over. I had to sit there, holding myself together, pushing back the deep humiliation that was threatening to collapse me. So I did the only thing I could. I spoke candidly about it. I told Carson on air that I had forgotten a line and completely lost my place, and that I was embarrassed. Carson, in his kindness, made space for it and spoke to it directly. He didn't brush it off or try to smooth it over. He was just present, accepting, and more gracious than I could have ever hoped for in that moment. What a beautiful soul. And what an important lesson to learn. I was so much harder on myself than others were going to be, battling with my own degree of proving, not only to others, but to myself, that I was worthy of appreciation, even in my imperfection.